The FBI recently removed an old floor from Mike Wolfe's mansion, and what they found underneath not only sent shivers down their spines, but also left the world wondering what they discovered and how this discovery will impact the future of the American picker star. Don't miss the amazing details in this story. Imagine entering a mansion that once belonged to a reality TV star, and for a moment discovering something that would make even seasoned investigators stop in their tracks. Both the media and fans were in a state of confusion when the FBI made an unexpected appearance at the mansion of American picker star Mike Wolfe. The task force quickly started to demolish the floor and the scene on the second floor, which used to be Wolfe's private office. Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Like and share this video to let your friends join in the discovery. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next exciting stories. The tense faces of the agents were captured on camera, but no formal announcement was made. According to an insider, however, a startling discovery left the entire FBI team stunned, as unexpected details slowly surfaced, revealing a shocking connection to the late artist Fritz. This may cause you to reevaluate your entire perspective of Mike Wolfe before he became a well-known host. Prior to his fame, Wolfe was dedicated to finding valuable items and was an avid antique hunter. People are aware that Mike Wolfe lived a life of near seclusion prior to becoming a well-known figure on screen. According to old records, he left school at the age of 16 and lived in a number of temporary residences. From 1992 to 1997, his name was listed in the records of a covert organization known as the Collector's Circle, which specializes in collecting artifacts of questionable provenance. The organization is thought to have been involved in the disappearance of indigenous cultural artifacts near the U.S.-Canada border, even though no formal charges were brought against him. After American Pickers aired, Wolfe's name abruptly vanished from public records until 2003, when he reappeared as the owner of an antiques business in Tennessee. Since then, he has become a symbol of the modern nostalgic lifestyle. But in recent years, some archaeologists and collectors have started to criticize Wolfe, accusing him of misrepresenting history for the media, with many of the artifacts on the show suspected of being replicas rather than the ancient treasures they were presented as. Due to Wolfe's unusual silence, many people have started to question the authenticity of American Pickers. There are rumors that the show might be a front to justify shady antique stealings. Some of the items on the show have even been discovered on lists of artifacts taken from well-known museums worldwide, making people question whether Mike Wolfe is who they thought he was. When the FBI unexpectedly showed up at Mike Wolfe's mansion, things became even more complicated, when a minor but crucial detail that many had previously missed was suddenly found. The mansion where the FBI dismantled the second floor was once an abandoned church that Wolfe had turned into his living space. In a previous interview, he expressed his wish to live in a place with an old soul, where he designed every brick in detail. In particular, the second floor was a perfect replica of a 19th-century European house that Wolfe had dismantled and brought back from overseas. Although no one is certain why the FBI chose that specific floor, many sources claim that it was not a haphazard decision. They had a specific reason. And the first hint was found in a little note in Wolfe's old friend Fritz's notebook, which was discovered in a dusty old suitcase. In the letter, Fritz described an odd experience he had while on a lengthy filmmaking trip, where he had to spend the night at Wolfe's house while it was still being renovated at around 3 in the morning. Wolfe's office is now on the second floor, and Fritz was awakened by strange noises coming from the ceiling. The faint but continuous whispering and the creaking sound of wood floors made Fritz wonder. When Fritz asked Wolfe about it the following morning, Wolfe merely laughed and said, "It must be just old wood floors." Fritz did not follow up on it, but the increasing hostility between the FBI performed a structural inspection of the house and found that the renovation plans Wolfe submitted did not match the official building permits. The second floor, which had previously been the church's bell tower, had been completely sealed off during the renovation. The technical team's on-site inspection revealed an unusually thick floor beneath the wood. This led Fritz to question the detail, which prompted a deeper investigation. After nearly an hour of battling, the investigation team managed to open the cement, which had been excluded from the blueprints, revealing a spiral wooden structure in the style of ancient religious architecture. Beneath the cement, a handleless steel trapdoor was buried in the thick, heavy walls, and the space below revealed a hidden storage room made of stone with a European-style vated ceiling. The air in the room was cold, damp, and smelled of burning, and when the flashlight was turned on, The entire area felt frozen. The FBI agents' chills didn't end there. In the corner of the room, they found a picture frame lying face down covered in dried blood and dust. When they turned it over, they saw a photo of Fritz. After 6 minutes, the investigation team found dozens of rare artifacts, including items labeled from European museums, and some listed as missing by Interpol. There were Eastern European wooden sculptures, stone reliefs with unknown markings, and a heavy metal box with a double locking mechanism. Grinning in a 5-year-old episode on the wall, a representative. The entire area was immediately cordoned off and guarded, signaling the potential danger of these discoveries. The FBI seized all the artifacts and filed a preliminary report to the federal government regarding serious violations of international cultural heritage. The eating symbol of a double spiral surrounding an eye was drawn with an unknown substance. Experts concluded that this was not just decoration, but an ideological symbol, possibly related to a belief system. Once hidden beneath ornate wooden floors, the basement is now the subject of a massive investigation that raises mysterious questions about the past that Wolfe may have kept hidden for years. Only a few wooden planks separate the basement from the world above, but that gap is enough to conceal secrets that no one dares to believe are true. And now the truth is slowly coming out. The FBI expanded the investigation after learning about the hidden basement beneath Wolfe's mansion, tracking the shipping routes and storage of artifacts. Related to investigators, discovered a heavy wooden suitcase marked FF inside a long storage closet. The suitcase contained Fritz's personal diary, which has yellowed pages but was still clearly handwritten. The diary documents Fritz's thoughts and experiences over the last 3 years, before he vanished from the media and fruit-picking world in America. The entries, particularly those regarding Wolfe's odd changes, prompted the investigation team to go to the places that Wolfe controlled. After reading them repeatedly, Fritz saw that Wolfe was changing strangely, making fewer appearances and playing a more obscure role in the show. Eventually, Fritz was forced to resign his contract, under terms he did not want Fritz to write, which stated that he was only a supporting character in the picture Wolfe wanted to create. Fritz started to suspect that Wolfe was using the program as a cover, regularly stopping at unscheduled locations and meeting with unknown suppliers to purchase items that were never on the show. The pivotal moment occurs when Fritz finds a crate full of artifacts at a location owned by Wolfe. If you're interested in complex relationships and unsolved mysteries, don't miss this video. Share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming shocking stories. Or Frank. Fritz's suspicions about Wolfe correct? Were there dark secrets between them that we were unaware of? The spooky part, though, is the sense of imminent danger. Fritz feels that Wolfe knows he is watching, because his phone has been tampered with, and he once saw Wolfe's car parked outside his house. Inside the crate are numerous items that are not listed in the official catalog, some of which even bear labels from international museums. Fritz secretly takes pictures of them and records their serial numbers, attaching them to his diary. Notebook is the reason. The diary ends on July 14, 2022, just 3 days before Wolfe declared that Fritz would not be returning to the show for health reasons. Intriguingly, a picture of Fritz lying face down and covered in dust was discovered in the sealed basement. The picture was taken during one of Fritz's last filming sessions. The FBI has designated the diary as key evidence, because it not only reveals Wolfe's possible wrongdoing, but also because it shows Fritz's psychological distress. The FBI agents' chills didn't end there. They discovered a picture frame lying face down in the corner of the room, covered in dried blood and dust. When they turned it over, they saw a picture of Fritz grinning in an episode that aired 5 years ago. On the wall, a repeating symbol of a double spiral around an eye was drawn, with an unidentified substance. Experts concluded that this wasn't merely decoration, but an explanation for Fritz's gradual removal from the show and the media spotlight. The FBI seized all the artifacts and sent a preliminary report to the federal government regarding serious violations of international cultural heritage. The basement, which was once sealed off under elaborate wooden floors, is now the subject of a massive investigation that raises mysterious questions about the past that Wolfe may have kept hidden for years. The entire area was immediately cordoned off and guarded, signaling the potential danger of these discoveries. The FBI broadened their investigation after learning of the hidden basement beneath Wolfe's mansion, tracking the shipping routes and storage of artifacts related to the locations under Wolfe's control. An old warehouse that Wolfe and Fritz once shared became the focus. And inside a long storage closet, they discovered a heavy wooden suitcase marked FF. A few wooden planks separate the basement from the world above, but that small gap is enough to hide secrets that no one dares to believe are true. And now the truth is slowly coming out. The suitcase contained Frank Fritz's personal diary, which was handwritten and had yellowed pages. The diary documents Fritz's thoughts and experiences over the 3 years prior to his disappearance from the media and fruit-picking world in America. The entries, particularly those concerning Wolfe's strange changes, caused the investigation team to read them repeatedly. Fritz noticed that Wolfe was changing strangely, as his appearances decreased, and his role in the program became more and more obscure. Was compelled to resign his contract. Under conditions he did not want Fritz to write that he was only a supporting character in the film Wolfe wanted to make. He started to suspect that Wolfe was using the program as a cover, regularly stopping at unexpected places, and meeting with unidentified suppliers to purchase items that were never shown. These items were always shipped overnight, without anyone inquiring or taking notes. Were Frank Fritz's suspicions about Mike Wolfe accurate, or were there sinister secrets between them that we were unaware of? The turning point occurs when Fritz finds a crate full of artifacts at a location owned by one of Wolfe's subsidiaries. Inside the crate are many items that are not listed in the official catalog, some even bearing labels from international museums. Fritz surreptitiously takes pictures and notes down these items. If you're curious about complex relationships and unsolved mysteries, don't miss this video. Share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming shocking stories. The most unsettling aspect, though, is the sense of imminent danger Fritz gets from Wolfe knowing he is watching, because his phone has been tampered with and he once spotted Wolfe's car parked outside his house. The diary concludes with the words, "If anything happens to me, this notebook is the reason." Fritz has not been seen in public since the diary ended on July 14, 2022, just 3 days before Wolfe announced that he would not be returning to the show for health reasons. Oddly, a picture of Fritz lying face down and covered in dust was discovered in the sealed basement during one of his last filming sessions. The FBI has designated the diary as key evidence because it not only reveals Wolfe's possible wrongdoing, but also because it reveals Fritz's psychological distress, feelings of being watched, and a number of indicators. American Pickers continued to air for 3 seasons after Frank Fritz left, but viewers noticed something strange about the episodes. They seemed to lack authenticity, and at times felt like footage was being recycled or disconnected. Gradually, it became apparent that Fritz was not there, and that what viewers saw was only an illusion of him. A copy of the image that Mike Wolfe had created. The system that Wolfe had created was not just a forgery, but a mechanism for. When Mike Wolfe was arrested at FBI headquarters, he was unable to escape the legal mess he had created. During the first 16 hours of questioning, he remained completely silent, did not request a lawyer, and did not deny anything. One investigator recalled, "He just sat." When the mask came off, what was left was an artificial legacy, where historical value was pushed for profit, and the people who actually created it were erased as if they had never existed. The FBI found a strange symbol, a double helix around an eye, that appeared repeatedly in the basement during the investigation. When Frank Fritz was mentioned, Wolfe wrote only the brief sentence, "Not everyone deserves to have their memories preserved." He then remained completely silent, offering no apology or explanation for the evidence presented. This silence caused great controversy, with some speculating that he was hiding his guilt, and others suspecting something even more sinister. The items in the basement, with the exception of 3 unidentified items, a charred wooden box, a leather map hand-drawn in blue ink, and a copper tube with a unique mechanical lock, were sealed. Experts fear that these items could be the key to a trail of evidence that has not been found in international databases. They speculate that this may have been the internal symbol of a secret group that did not fit into any known belief system. Though their lawyer has confirmed that they are suing Mike Wolfe for copyright infringement of Fritz's image, Frank Fritz's family has not yet spoken to the media. They have also asked for an independent investigation to ascertain whether Fritz was threatened prior to his disappearance. One disturbing detail mentioned in the crime scene report is a line of writing written at the base of the basement wall, just beneath a thick layer of dust. Although it is unclear who the author was, or Mike Wolfe was found guilty of 12 federal charges, including trade fraud, possession of stolen cultural property, and commercial use of another person's identity. Although the case has been closed, the investigation is still ongoing, and many of the people and organizations involved are now under increased scrutiny. This story is more than just the demise of a television icon. It was written exactly when it was written, and it is located directly opposite the portrait of Fritz, making anyone who reads it shudder, but also a sobering reminder that sometimes what we think of as memory is actually the product of deliberate design. What do you think of the mysteries beneath that ancient wooden floor? What has been found is only the beginning. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. And remember to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss any updates in the future.